yellow socks. I don't like you because you've got yellow socks on. And what I'm saying is that, you know, you can't judge a book by its cover, and that's something that, you know, that's an old saying, that's an old wives' saying almost. And I think that you know, I try to be intelligent. I don't like to come across, I don't want to be just a rock and roll star. I want to be a personality.
But why have the old wives accepted you so readily as the young people?
People accept me because I think I'm intelligent. I hope that people think I'm intelligent.
But intelligence is not normally a reason why people would like you.
I think it is in rock and roll because there's so many dumb people. I think that, you know, years ago, I don't know, I think it's got a lot to do with rock and roll. Years ago, pop stars were very, they just kind of dressed up and they had these huge high shoes and outrageous clothes, you know? And they didn't have to justify themselves, you know. But now people, because I've come along and because I've got a big mouth naturally, and I love talking, you know, rather like yourself. But you see, I mean, there are people who can bore you silly. I mean, you're quite charming when you talk to people, and you know, you talk a lot. No, but you talk a lot, and I think that...
Not tonight.
You had to get one in. I just think that people like Boy George, and there are other bands like Annie Lennox, a lot of fantastic bands around, very talented people who look odd, but also have got some kind of explanation, and they've got something to say for why they look the way they do. And I think that people, you know, you become like a parental figure. You know, there are a lot of people who really rely on me. And I think, obviously, you're in a position where you can influence people. And I think if you do that in a bad way, then obviously you won't succeed. But if you do it in a positive way, you can really, really help people. And
so it's the image first that will attract people to your music. That's really the way pop music has become, isn't it? It seems to be all image now.
Yeah, but for me, that isn't the case. I mean, I've tried to explain this because I didn't come along. I mean, in the 70s, a lot of the bands were old hippies, and they suddenly put a bit of glitter on, a bit of eyeshadow, sort of dyed their hair, and they became successful. But with me, I dressed up for years. I mean, I wore a kilt actually to work once when I worked in Poland Street, and the woman had a fit, and she said, "You can't stay here in a kilt, a skirt." You know, and she had one on. I said, why not? You know, you can wear one. It looks better on me than it does on you. But basically, you know, I think that we've made it very difficult for people to be bland.
Yeah,
you know?
But can you have an ordinary life now? I mean,
what's an ordinary life?
Well, I mean, you're obviously not going to walk down to the pub for a drink, are you?
I never went to pubs anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, would you say that it will eventually make you rather like Michael Jackson, something of a recluse?
I am already. I mean, definitely.
That's
you know,
tragic, isn't it? Really?
Not really.
Well, it is a bit sad because you're a very outgoing person.
Yeah, but I find pleasure in different ways now. I go to restaurants. I go to quiet places. I like quiet. It's funny. I've gone the opposite. Years ago, I used to go to clubs every night, and now because I'm surrounded by people all the time, I like to be quiet. You know, and also I think like Michael Jackson, I channel all my energy into Culture Club. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. I mean, that's why we're successful because we work hard.
What about the O'Dowd family? How do they react to you? Well, that's your own Irish family.
Yeah, I have to say that my parents are very, very intelligent. You know, they've always been... if somebody black moved into the street, they wouldn't turn around and say, "Oh my God, the street's gone down a peg." You know, they've always been the first people to go and help somebody. I mean, we had a lady of ill repute living next to us once, and her house burnt down, and my father went in and rescued her in her underwear, pulled her out, and you know, he never lived it down. He had to move actually. But, kind of attention, and everybody needs that, and that's what I try to give people.
But you dress like this then, not to draw attention to yourself?
Oh, of course. You know, there's no question about that. I mean, of course I do. You know, but by the same token, I mean, why do you wear makeup on TV? You know, you probably don't wear it at the pub, but you wear it because, you know, it's part of your job. And the thing that I find hypocritical is that you turn on the 6 o'clock news and there's this guy, the weather is, and he's plastered in foundation and Max Factor.
He's not walking down the street here.
Also, then I'm a bit more honest than he is, because I'm for real and I do it for real, and I'm saving the world. Which brings me to my gift for you, Terry.
Oh.
It's a present.
Oh, thank you.
You have to open it out and put it on.
Save the world.
Your sleep as well, it cost a fortune.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Well, it's funny because Gerald Priestland was on, and he had a silk scarf, a little cheap silk scarf that the Dalai Lama had given him. He took it out, and I thought he said, "Put your hands out." So I put my hands out, and he took it back. At least you've given me this.
Oh, well, I'm not mean, you see. I feel so. I think I've got to do my bit for TV. I've got to brighten you up a bit.
You're heading off for America now. This is your last appearance before
Yeah.
you go off. You're heading really for Middle America, for Canada,
Yeah.
for foreign territory, really, where they might not turn up in any great numbers.
Oh, they're all sold out.
Are they?
No, they're not. I mean, they're coming along. Some of them are reluctant emigres, you know, come along for a freak show. But basically, I think people will come. Like we played in America last year, and there was a huge, great big guy, and I could see him. You know, sometimes you spot somebody. I mean, you try not to. This guy kind of faggot. Don't like him, you know. And when we did "You Really Hurt Me," the flab started waving, you know. and he was. And by the end of the show, because he was so drunk, he forgot about the way I looked. But he also enjoyed the show because we are good live.
Do you get people being aggressive to you because of the way you look? Well,
I
unpleasant.
haven't really ever been attacked because I'm quite big. And also because I think...
And your father was a boxer as well.
Yeah, and also, but I think the main thing is that I think I walk up with my head up. When I used to have a shop in Carnaby Street, and there used to be gangs of skinheads on the corner. And I used to go around in high heel shoes, you know. I don't wear them anymore, of course. But I used to walk about with, you know, outrageous outfits, and they never used to hit me. It would be, they'd shout, and I'd go, you know, and various things to that kind of form. And people never used to bother me. I don't know, I think that it's like dogs. If if you're frightened of a dog, it'll bite you. And I think you have to be confident. I mean, you know, I'm not scared of anybody. I haven't got to justify myself. I can
Do you
what I
get
am.
bothered by, now that's the butch bothering. Do you get bothered by the more effeminate sections of the community?
One guy came up to me once in a club and said, "You don't defend gays." I said, "Well, because I don't believe anybody is anything. I think everybody should be, you know, if you aren't strong enough to stick up for yourself, tough luck." And he got very upset, you know, because I said I'm not a poofter in the paper. And what I meant was that I'm not, you know, a teapot, short and stout. And, you know, I am a man. I'm not trying to kind of kill some desire to be a woman. I mean, I'm totally a man. And when I go into the bathroom in the morning, I'm quite aware of what I am. And I don't feel responsible for any section of the community. I love everybody. Anybody who wants to like me, whether they're gay or straight or dogs, cats, you know, any budgies, you know, any culture. I mean, I'll have anyone who wants me.
And they
You know.
seem to. They seem
do.
to. Thank you, Boy George.
Thank you.